All right, so we are now really starting to dive a little bit deeper into the body systems. The first body system that we covered was the skeletal system. We knew that the bones were the main organs. And some of the things that the skeletal system does for us is, I think the easiest is it offers us protection. It protects our organs. It gives us our shape. When we look at the skeletons of different animals, we've probably never even seen the skeleton of those animals before, but we know what animal it is because skeletons give you your shape. Bones also give us the ability to move. They are not what moves us, but their hinges and joints and balls and sockets are what give us the ability to move. You have to have the muscular system to do that. And probably the oddest of all of the things that they do is they make red blood cells, which is going to come into play when we get to the circulatory system. So the skeletal system was very important, and we had a good time studying that. Move through some of these, and we get to our muscular system. Now, when we learned about the muscular system, I think one of the first things we talked about was there are two types of muscles, sort of. Voluntary, the ones that you choose to move, and involuntary, the ones that you don't choose to move. And then there's like this little subcategory of muscles that are most of the time involuntary. You don't have to think about it, but you can think about and you can move those. An example of that would be your diaphragm when you're breathing in and out. Normally, you do not have to think about breathing in and out, but you can take a deep breath, hold it, and then blow the air out because you can control the diaphragm when needed. And I'm sure there are really good reasons behind that. Muscles help us move, and in moving, they generate heat, and they keep our body at a certain temperature. That's why if you're just sitting still sometimes, it gets very cool. It's also why when we go outside for recess and you run around, you get hot pretty quickly because your muscles are generating heat. Muscles are what helps us digest food, believe it or not. There's muscles that surround our stomach and intestines, and it moves the food through our digestive system while the inside of our digestive system does its job of breaking down the food and turning it into nutrients that we need and getting rid of the waste that we don't want in our bodies. Now, again, here's that word voluntary. We have voluntary muscles. That's like getting up and walking around, raising your hand, taking notes, which I hope people are doing right now. We have involuntary muscles like your heart, typically blinking. You don't have to think about that. You can. Breathing in and out. Things that you can, some of those things you can control, but for the most part, your body takes care of that for you. Things that you don't have to think about operating, and they work on their own, which is a good thing. I'm glad I don't have to think about my heart beating, think about blinking, think about breathing, because then I wouldn't have time to think about other things like the body systems. Today, that is not what I'm going to do today. I'm going to move that on to over to, I need to move those around big time. Holy cow. There we go. Today I'm going to do the digestive system. I do not know why those slides are out of whack, but it looks like I need to fix that. The digestive system. Now, you probably already know a little bit about your digestive system. Your digestive system is what allows you to take in food, break that food down into nutrients that your cells and your organs need in order to survive and to get rid of the waste that is produced in our bodies. So again, if you can see here, the digestive system acts in stages to digest our food. Each stage is very important. The length of our entire digestive system from the beginning of the digestive system to the end is about 20 to 30 feet, depending on how big and how tall, maybe a little smaller, maybe a little longer, but somewhere in that 20 to 30 feet category. Most of that's going to be your intestines, your small and large intestines. Remember when we were like main muscle or the main organs of the muscular system, muscles, main organs of the skeletal system, bones. As you can see here, and I'm not even remotely, I didn't even put the liver in there or anything, the digestive system has an extensive amount of organs that we need to think about. And we will get those taken down in our notes. The main organs, the teeth, the salivary glands. That's like when you smell pizza and your mouth starts to water. That saliva is one of the first things that breaks down the food in your mouth with your teeth. Your tongue is part of your digestive system. So you have everything in your mouth. So as you can tell, the digestive system starts where? in your mouth. Your esophagus, that is that tube that runs from your mouth to your stomach and your intestines. Now for us, I'm just getting on the very surface level of this. We are not going to start talking about things like the gallbladder and the liver, which have a hand in the process of digestion. If we need to, we'll get into that, but I don't think that's typically going to be on our tests and EOGs and stuff. That's going to be later when you do anatomy and physiology, like in high school. You might have to start learning those things. So let's take a quick walk through the digestive system, and by quick walk, I mean a very long walk. It really does start, like I've said, about when you first start smelling food. Your body starts to get ready. Your mouth starts to water, and that's not just some accidental process. What's going on is your salivary glands, as you can see here, your salivary glands are starting to work. The reason why that's important is when you put food in your mouth, that saliva is not just water. It actually has enzymes inside of it that start to break food down, which is a very, very important thing. So we get that awesome piece of pizza from Mellow Mushroom. Our mouth is watering. We put it in our mouth and we take a big giant bite and we start to chew. Chewing is that first part because, again, digestion starts in the mouth. Chewing is the first part, and chewing's main goal is to break the food down into pieces that your body can more easily digest. You don't want to chew like 2 times and then swallow. Swallowing huge chunks of food doesn't allow your body to break that food down in a very economical way. It's not very good. So you swallow the food, and here's that involuntary muscle that we talked about. In your esophagus, which is the tube that runs from your throat to your stomach, there's this process called peristalsis where it kind of squeezes the food all the way down into your stomach. And that's very important that it does that because you wouldn't want things getting stuck in there and hanging out for a while. So that movement of food down to your stomach is a very important thing. So we get that finished. And so now it falls into your stomach. Your stomach has a very important job as well. It continues to break down the food using acids and enzymes, but another very important function of the stomach is it kills any bacteria in the food. And you don't want to have any bacteria in your food because that could kill you. Moving into your stomach to your small intestine is going to continue to break down that food for you as well, getting out all of the nutrients that you might need. Then it moves it into the large intestine, which removes all of the water that you might need. And then your body is able to get rid of any waste that is left over. And that is a very quick trip through the digestive system, and the people that just came into class got to hear that. You will need this inside of your packet, which my class can start getting out now because they'll have that in just 1 second. And this has your main organs and their functions. And as we look down here, it goes from super intense to very easy with the function of the digestive system. So you'll feel free to pause and get that in there.